How does Game 1 sit with you, Dan?
Well, it was a surprise. I mean, the Cleveland played so well against the Raptors, and still stuck in my head. The Celtics. It was such a struggle for them to get by the Bucks, who weren't that good. But I'm old enough to have seen some things here over the years, and there's going to be a tendency to maybe read too much into it. We'll see. I think tomorrow night's huge, but yeah, I mean the Celtics, they can't get any more dominating than they were yesterday against a team with LeBron James, and I just think the Cavs tend to fold up their tents when they know they're not going to win. And none more evident than yesterday.
So how? Then let's get to the how here for somebody that has seen many Celtics teams formed and many Celtics teams break up. How did this happen with Kyrie and Gordon Hayward being plans 1 and 2, obviously, for this team, and they are now 3 steps away from the NBA Finals anyway?
Yeah, it's amazing in a league that's dominated by, star talent, star power. And I think that it's just that Brown and Tatum in 3 or 4 years, this won't look like a surprise when people see what they are and know what they are. But on the national stage, those two guys aren't known at this point. But they're both number 3 picks in the draft. I mean, Michael Jordan and Kevin McHale were number 3 picks in the draft. I mean, that's a high spot. And it's just happening quickly for them the way it has to in the Celtics case. And I just think those guys are way better than people know. And then you got the coach who's got these people buying in, and Danny Ainge has assembled really good role players. Morris, Baines, Marcus Smart it's like having Dante Hightower on the team. He's always on the floor at the end. He's a very rugged NFL type guy, and the Celtics are young enough where they play up on people, and a lot of teams in the NBA aren't used to that, and especially a team with Cleveland with as many old guys as they have. These people are in your face, and it's a little bit startling out of the jump. It certainly hurt the Sixers, and it was a strategy that worked well on them.
Dan Shaughnessy, the Boston Globe here. I had McHale on in this very spot 1 week ago, and I asked him, how does he think a conversation with Brad Stevens and Red Auerbach would go? What would you say to that?
Well, Red had so much reverence for the old Indiana basketball tradition, and John Wooden, and loved Bobby Knight, that whole thing. So this would have been Red's kind of guy. And the fact that Stevens is so humble, not bringing attention to himself, Red loved that. Red didn't like the guys really demonstrative on the floor and waving their arms around and just doing too many things to bring attention to themselves. So Red had a real love for that. And this is a guy who loves basketball, studies basketball. He looks like he's 22 years old. It's just amazing he can be as effective as he is. He gets them to buy in over the 82, which is hard to do in this league. And then I think, the defensive schemes, we saw what he did to Simmons, took him out of the series. Nobody can take LeBron out of a series, but certainly yesterday's game plan worked. And then everybody, people can see what they do out of timeouts, Rich, and that's, they get shots. I thought at Game 3 in Philly, they won on the road. That was kind of a coach win right there, just the design plays at the end when it was tight.
Yeah, and realizing midway through the possession, let's call a timeout and reset. So what I guess essentially did Brad Stevens concoct, other than just maybe it is just simple as let's put Morris on LeBron? What was the, I guess, LeBron rules that we saw in a way that the Raptors clearly couldn't or haven't been able to grasp, Dan?
Well, I mean, yeah, I've heard both on this. There's the old Red, Celtic Will Chamberlain thing, which was let him have his thing and we'll worry about the other guys. And I see this as sort of the reverse of that. No, they're worrying about LeBron. And they're trying to make him a jump shooter and close off the lanes and have help on him when he gets the ball where he's got a chance to fake out his guy and go to the basket with an empty floor in front of him. They don't want that, and so they're trying to. There was one instance where when he got the ball, there were 4 people around him, and I think that they know they have to do that. You can't play him one-on-one and expect to survive, and so I think that they're kind of using the reverse Chamberlain psychology on this guy and just coming at him. But it could change from game to game. Certainly with Morris, they have a guy who's a very confident guy. He just feels good going in there about himself. And, physically he's a pretty good matchup. Ojale isn't a bad matchup. Smart can do it in a pinch because he's so rugged, even though he's a lot shorter. And if they have to, Horford, Baines, whatnot, I mean, they'll throw multiple bodies at him.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.